It should have come with the trigger warning. So from Faye's lips to the painting of 1,000 dinglings to damn choo-choos, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. Pick me up in the McLaren, daddy. Annie, in fact, is not okay. I just honestly want to... If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley. This is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all the things TV and movie related. Y'all know I'm here to put you on. Back to talk Euphoria, Season 3, Episode 4, Kitty Likes to Dance. Every week we go somewhere deeper. We go someplace more untoward. And honestly, I don't know what to make of it all. At first I said, this is social commentary about the state of young women and how they feel that there are certain things they need to do to be someone here in today's society. But this is all a kink. This has all been for somebody's kink, in my opinion, and I'm disgusted. This is probably the most horrifying, most vile episode that I've seen thus far. I think some of the graphic nature of the things that happened were better alluded to than actually viewing. And we're going to get into it, though. Let's talk about it. Rue is now a federal agent. Faye's lips help to solve a crime, and Cassie is somebody now. At least that's what she thinks. So now easing on into what happened last week, we saw Cassie and Nate get married, but we also saw him lose his pinky toe, and we also found out that Nate is girthy. All right, we found those things out. Lori's bird paladin was taken out by Bishop. Faye is officially working for Lori, and allegedly Faye or Angel ran away from rehab. And did she? If y'all don't just get over here to the trafficking of it all already, I don't know what to say yet. So let's go over here. We're going to go character by character. I think that's probably better in the way that I take my notes and all of that. So let's start over here with Rue, and she's a snitch now. Them people had her dead to rights. They have pictures of her in Mexico meeting with the cartel. And basically they want Lori. They say, listen, that Fenty that you gave out, that you were serving up to the nations, took out several people. First of all, just the possession of what you had in your truck right now is 20 years. Every unaliving that was caused by that bad Fenty is an additional 20 years. So unless you want to spend the rest of your young life in the Pinta over there with Fez, then you're going to have to turn state's evidence. And she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Where am I going? What are we doing? So they replaced her fanny pack full of fake dope, laxatives and headache medicine and all of that. And now they're thinking they're going to get close to Lori. And of course, they don't know really the situation about that. Rue asked them, listen, what are they going to do when they find out that this dope is fake? Well, they're going to reach out to Lori and they're going to have Lori make it right. Not knowing that Lori and the militia have plans of their own. All right. And so Rue goes back to the club, very nervous. Alamo calls her on the carpet because, girl, what's wrong with you? You look like a rat. I said, oh, Lord, she's compromised already. And she's been there 5 minutes as they're playing poker. And he says, you slipped, didn't you? You slipped in your sobriety. You've been taking the dope. And Rue says, yes, and it'll never happen. And he basically gives her an admonishment, a warning that, listen, dope will take your black behind out of here. All right. So stop it. That's not what we're here for. She's doing her best. We meet the new girl, Kitty. And again, from the first moment that Kitty walked in, I said, oh my God, what are we doing? From Alamo slowly unbuckling his belt to her legs spread from here to yonder to later, not only does she love to dance, they put her in a situation where it's a choo-choo. And not only do they allude to it, but we actually have to watch this baby be violated. And I don't know who that serves. I don't think it was for the story of it all, right? I don't know. Rue ends up being back in the office and she sees it on the cameras and she's even disgusted because what the hell is going on? What happened? We go into the bathroom afterwards and we see her cleaning herself and refreshing her makeup after this train situation. And Magic is in there on the sneak tip, standing on the toilet, because listen, she's in traction, but she's yet a spy. And again, I really don't like people like that. You're already in an underrepresented demographic, not only because of just who you are inherently, but also because of the industry that you're in. She overhears Rue basically saying to Kitty, did you want to do that? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Or is somebody forcing you to do this? And again, Rue, baby, the time and the place, she has no situational awareness, and it just gets crazier every single time. Literally, the plot armor that she has at this point, just call her Superman. Just call her the Man of Steel at this point, because nothing can take her out. If this doesn't end Rue, I don't know what will. It's way too much. And so Magic comes out of the stall. She's overheard everything, and she's singing or humming the Alamo. Or I said, girl, is that Bonanza theme song? What are you doing? She leaves out, and immediately she goes to Big Dwayne with the flip up glasses and is like, I think Rue's a snitch, all of that. Rue goes into the room. She starts to be questioned, but we know that the DEA has tapped her phone. And so she runs out, and they're like, you've been compromised. You need to go there and discredit Magic and get this situation worked out, because we can't lose this spot. She goes back in and is like, listen, she's a hood rat hoochie mama. She don't know anything. I was in there just comforting her, asking her questions. It's not deeper than that. And in the midst, we have a bust in. And it's Lori and the militia in the Barack Obama mask. And this was another point of contention for me in the episode, because I don't like the off the cuff racism is just beyond. Because his donkey D, really? Boy, get down there, boy, and open that safe. Things I don't need. Things I literally just don't need and don't add any substance to the story. And I just wonder why we're going over here. Are you trying to be avant-garde? Are you trying to be shocking? I've already captured that season 1 of Euphoria, baby. You shocked the nation. I don't know why we had to add racism to this whole entire debacle. And so, of course, now Rue is in a situation. They bust in. They end up popping Big Daddy Dwayne. And Magic is over there curled up on the couch with her neck brace, being useless. And they, of course, have to run back the tapes now, because who was it? And we knew it. It was Lori's people immediately, but Faye is driving the getaway car. Now, Faye has so disappointed me, because you were supposed to be in this, sister. You were better than this. You were supposed to. I don't know. But in terms of the silver slipper, I really think that this DEA investigation is going to pivot into something else, because we already know that the connect with Lori is ruined completely. They had the funeral out there, and of course her crew wants to take everybody out unalive, and even threatened to take Rue and Magic out at the strip club, but end up, of course, popping Big Daddy Dwayne. But there's a larger issue. The fact that, to me, Alamo is in the business of trafficking, and Kitty is just a prime example of that. And then the convenience of Angel actually disappearing from rehab simultaneously. There's more to the story, and that's what I want to explore more. Over the fetishization of these girls and whatever kink y'all have going on in the episode, I really want to dive into that, because I think that's something that Rue could really get behind in helping to bring people down. Because Rue can't get to Lori, now she's trying to find another dealer, because I need to give these people somebody or I'm going to be in the pinta, right? And so she's trying to figure all of this out, but I really do want them to just come on out about it. Come on out about the silver slipper, the involvement, and also let us know who Bishop is. Bishop know too much. Bishop's giving side eye. Bishop's quiet in the cut. He knows something more, or he actually is the police. Y'all drop it in the comments and let me know your thoughts. He's one of the two, in my opinion. Now, let's get over here to Cassie and Nate, because we saw everything that happened. Why is this happening to me? What is happening? And so we're trying to talk to Nate. Nate is bruised and battered. They were able to attach his pinky toe, and he says this is a metaphor. Right? Because what's dead may never die. It's cut off, but now I can fix it with Elmer's glue, and that's relative to everything in my life. If it's broken, we just pick up the pieces, we just attach it. And Cassie makes an astute observation in this moment, and she says, but it'll never be the same again. And it won't, because at this moment, she packs up her bags, throws them down. Maddie is outside in the hoe wagon, ready to pick her up, because I got to go to work. She asked him before that, though, how much money do you owe these people? They came over here, they were serious, and he was like, it's not a little and it's not a lot. Hey, we don't have time for this. Lordy, get to it. And so ultimately he tells her, he said about $1 million altogether, if you round up to the highest decimal point. And she's like, I can't do this. I can't. And so she gets in Maddie's car, and they drive off into the sunset because she's got to get this money. She's got to be a star because Nate is useless. Later on, we see Nate go before the commission for zoning because that was his issue with the construction and the development, right? Because of this little flower, they're unable to build because it is an endangered flower type, whatever. And so he makes his appeal, and he's begging and pleading, bruised and battered in the face, and they're denied. Once you get the environmental impact statements, come on back and we'll figure this out. And at that point, he gets down on his knees and he begs. He grovels. He lays it all on the line because Big Daddy just don't do me no more. I need this. Whatever you like. I'll do whatever you need, whatever you like. They're like, please, sir, get up off your knees and have some self-respect. And listen, I'm liking it to all the women that we're being presented with, right? Get on your knees. At this point, you're going to have to sell some Boochie Cat, Nate. I don't know how you're going to get that money, but maybe you start an OnlyFans as well, because at this point, you better pay Nas because he might cut something else off. And I'd be thoroughly disappointed if he cut your member off, sir. I'd be thoroughly disappointed. Now let's get to Cassie in the city, honey, because she done pawned that wedding ring. She's found herself an apartment. She is at Lexi's apartment, laid out on the lawn chair, the beach chair, the pool chair with the leaf blower, getting her life. And she says, listen, Maddie, I don't think this is it. But first we go to the glam squad. That's right. We have her all glammed up and actually looking like somebody. I said, all right, Maddie, do your biggest one. And so we're taking the shots because we have to build this image. We have to get her in the limelight. And apparently the way to do that is to meet up with the Wahlberg boy. Now, this is Mark and Donnie's brother's son, Jim. His son is supposed to be this social media giant, the one that Maddie is trying to get Cassie in front of. And she gives Cassie one admonishment before she goes in. Just don't screw him. If you screw him, it was just for one time and he'll never call you again. So go in there, act like you have some sense, and you do what you need to do. And so Maddie's just keeping the game. And y'all keep saying this is about she's grieving the loss of this friendship. Maddie is not. If you say it's a tinge of jealousy, I would more respect that. There is nothing that makes me feel like Maddie is mourning the relationship that she had with Cassie. Damn it, I just don't see it. I don't feel it. That's not ever what's been presented. But anyway, she's out to get this bag because Maddie is the real pimp. We go to the club, we meet oh boy, and we're competing with Maddie's first client who she had to drop because of her 9-to-5, who's clearly jealous. Because all these questions to Cassie about, is Maddie representing you? I want to know what that is. And are you on a mission to bring down Maddie's sister? Girl, go live your own best influencer life. And so ultimately we get into the room with the Wahlberg boy and them two. And I said, what kind of freak leak session are we going to have? The other girls got the rope-a-dope and they're doing lines off the stomach. Cassie says, I want to go first. Are you a gentleman? Putting on the flirt thing that y'all like, I guess. I don't know. And so ultimately they get into the thralls of it. The other girl gets sick, loses her lunch. Cassie's laying it all on the line. Maddie finds somebody to bust into the room because she can't get in. And it's all for the gram. Because follow me on socials. I'm Cassie, that girl Cassie, or whatever it was. And I was like, a perfect setup. So now I'm sure in the next episode, Cassie is launched into virality and ultimate success, which is her big dream, because we got to make $1 million. We got to make $1 million. What I will say, as far as commentary just around the Nate and Cassie situation, I like that in this episode, she understands this isn't a fairy tale. This is not the Cassie that we met in the first 2 seasons. And we've talked about that before. But now I really feel like she's getting the cold hard truth of the reality of not only who Nate is, but this life that she's trying to achieve and maintain, that's not going to be what it is on that side. Now, will she ever get the realization that all that glitters isn't gold on this Hollywood end, on this social media situation, on this OnlyFans vibe? I don't know. Only time will tell. But this was her launching pad into, I guess, destiny, if you want. Meanwhile, Lexi is over here at her big studio working with the Sharon Stone. And shout out to Sharon for coming over here for you. Because girl, what? And girl, why? But we're over here nonetheless, and we need to commission this painting because in this show that we're doing for network TV, we need the artist to be painting. And listen, I'm looking out for my girl because I know Jules is an artist and she's sensitive about her ish. So let me bring her over here and we're going to have a good time. She's going to get paid. It's good for the friendship. It's good for the studio and all of this. And this is what I want to say, because I'm not mad at Jules often, but ho, is you cool? Because why would you do that? And then it was like this angsty response at the end. Oh, this is not your own private art gallery. This was a job that you did for money for someone else. Please get a grip. The entitlement is beyond me. The entitlement is beyond, because Jules takes her happy ass up there, does this mural with all of these ethereal beings or whatever, all these breasted creatures with big schlongs. And I'm like, girl, why would you do that? This is for network TV. This is not your situation. And you got my girl Lexi in trouble because come to find out, we can't fix this immediately. That means shooting is delayed. That hour and a half was worth $55,000 between all the text, the grips, the producers, everyone who had to be there. And now we have to push it back a week. The total for this mistake is $191,000. She said, don't, Nancy. And I said, don't be a net negative, Nancy. Lexi, don't bring Jules to nothing else, because at the end, when we have to see her with the paint and throwing it up there because she's just so disgruntled, ho, it's network TV. What do you want from people? And again, I don't know if that's commentary that she doesn't feel accepted in this world, but she has to know that nudity in general doesn't fly on network TV. Please give me a damn break. And y'all, I think that was what happened in this episode. Overall, oh gosh, I don't know. I really didn't enjoy this episode, y'all. I did not enjoy it. I think we only descend further into the madness moving forward. And I just don't get it. The sweet pea rating for this episode, out of 5 sweet peas, I'm probably giving this 1.5. I didn't like the subject matter, and that makes a difference for me. I can appreciate some of the themes in terms of bodily autonomy and what we do for survival. And of course, coming to the realization that this perfect life that I dreamed of, that I wanted, that I thought was here isn't. Like, I can see all those things, but the overt racism, the Barack Obamas of it all, the choo-choo was so vile and so horrific. It should have come with a trigger warning, and I really think it's disrespectful to not. And the masks that women wear and the reliance on drugs, right, to get you through to the next moment. But I feel terrible for Kitty, and I ultimately hope that the investigation encompasses trafficking, because I know for a fact that's what's going on there as well. But you guys drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought, child. Did it meet your needs? What did you think of this episode? Did I go too hard on it? I don't know. But if you're still here, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype me up if you got a hype. We're trying to get to 20K, all right? But thank you so much for being here, and I will see y'all in the next video.